Hello, and welcome to episode 31 of the Brick Clubhouse. My name is Evan, and as always, I am joined by my co-host and fellow Lego lover, Mr. Chris.
Hello, Evan.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. We may want to let our friends out in podcast land know we're both getting over colds. So if we sound a little weird,
Could you tell?
you sound a little deep.
Do I?
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
you like it that way.
Yeah,
I don't
sound a
know.
little deeper.
Maybe Bailey likes it that way with your deep voice.
We don't need to talk about that.
You got married.
Yeah,
We haven't mentioned it.
we've mentioned it many times. Let's move on.
No, we're here for the first episode of the year.
We are.
So great. It's nice to be here. And as always, thank you to Bricks and Minifigs San Diego North for making this all happen and giving us space to talk about Lego and
Holding
build
space for
Lego
us.
and
Yeah.
spend our days with Lego.
You know what's crazy? You talk about this being our first show of the year. Bailey and I were just making plans with a friend for next weekend. And she goes, yeah, we're free on Saturday the 18th. And I was like, wait, what? Next Saturday's already the 18th?
I know. This month is flying by.
Today's already the 8th,
I know.
which is not when you guys are going to be hearing this. But
No,
that's
but
that's nuts.
yeah. It's
New Year's Day was a week ago today.
It's already flying by.
Did I tell you that on New Year's Day I took the day off and me, Blair, Riley, and Bailey played board games? I kid you not, the entire day.
You did not tell me.
And one of them was like a campaign-based game, and that took up like 5 hours, like for one of our campaigns. It was awesome.
That sounds like a lot of fun. In fact, what other fun did you have over the holiday break?
Yeah, this can be a little bit of a follow-up from our last episode where we talked about our
You were getting ready to
favorite
travel,
sets.
yeah, and
Yeah.
favorite sets and all that.
Yeah, so I said that my favorite set of the year was the Legend of Zelda Great Deku Tree, and I did get that set. And I have not finished building it yet, but I'm looking at it right now over in my bookcase, and I love it so much.
It is a really good looking set.
And the minifigures are so good. They all have dual molded legs, and they all have dual molded arms.
See, Lego can do it when they
And
want to.
Newly molded hair pieces and new prints and new accessory molds. There's not a single sticker in the entire set. These are some of the reasons why I know people did not like the price point, especially like I saw a lot of Nintendo fans that aren't Lego fans, and they were like, I could buy a Switch for that price. And it's like, sure. And knowing Lego, like, and now me building it and going through it, I'm like, I see the value here.
Yeah.
Like, they went above and beyond with the prints and the molds and all of that. Like, I stand by what I said, my favorite set of the year.
I'm glad. I'm glad
So-
you like it. I'm glad it lived up to the hype.
Oh, yeah. Me and Bailey also went to Universal Studios
Oh,
for a
fun.
day with my parents and one of our family friends. He's like 13 or 14 now, I think. So that was fun, and we had a really good time. Actually, this is a little bit of a teaser for some of the upcoming sets, but some of the Mario Kart sets did come out on January 1st, and we went on the new Mario Kart ride.
Uh-huh.
I guess it's not fully new anymore, but in the Super
But,
Mario
yeah.
world. A little underwhelming, not going to lie. We waited in line for like over an hour, and the ride was like not the greatest.
I haven't been to Universal in years.
Yeah, that was my first time since high school. That was my dad's first time, and he said like 20 or 40 years, something like that.
I haven't been since college.
I think he said the same thing.
I've been to
So 40
Universal in Florida,
Yeah.
but not here in California.
Yeah, we had a blast. Anyway, so that's kind of some, and then Bailey's family, as you know, but I'll tell the folks. Bailey's family has a timeshare in Carlsbad, and they have it the week after Christmas every year, and so we always spend that week in Carlsbad. So I was commuting to and from work, but that was why we got to just hang out, play board games, and
That's nice and relaxing.
Yeah,
So,
Bailey, my sister-in-law, Bailey's sister, was back in town, so that was fun, and my brother came down.
well, that's
hung out with
great.
us for the week. So yeah, super fun.
Oh, good family time. Yeah, we had a lot of family in town, did different things. There's some health stuff happening in my family, so
Yeah.
we didn't get to do as much or spend as much time together as we would usually or as we would like.
Yeah.
But it was still a good time. I
Good.
spent New Year's Eve building Lego.
Heck yeah.
So
What's that?
I built the Fox,
Nice.
and
That was your number 5 set of the year?
yes,
right?
Yeah. I built the Fox, and then I built the little mail truck for
Oh, the elf delivery
the
truck.
elf delivery truck.
That was a good one.
So yeah, just
Yeah.
a few small builds
Nice.
to ring in the new year. So
Super fun.
that was fun. It is a new year, 2025, which means
Blair and I were talking about movies, like for a while, right up until the ball drop, and that didn't even like hit me. Like we were just like in the middle of a conversation, and then we stopped. I'm like, Happy New Year, and then we like moved on. And, like, but yeah, 2025.
2025 is here, and that always means new Lego sets.
And lots
of new Lego
lot
sets.
Of them.
Yeah, there were like 160 some odd new Lego sets released
insane.
on January 1st. It would have been nice.
And we're going to talk about every single one of them.
Yeah,
so
no.
buckle up, folks.
There are times where we talk about every release, but not this time.
Not this time.
In the store, we couldn't even get a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been delayed, and we're not sure when they'll be coming, but
Yeah.
we did get quite a few fun ones that we're going to talk about, at least some of them. At least hit a smattering of our favorite sets that came out, and maybe we'll just round robin style go back and forth.
Yeah.
Just calling out a few.
Yeah.
Or
we have a
or
couple
some
of them
themes
here next
that
to-
stand out to us. Yeah, I brought in a selection from the store of things just because sometimes it's good to have your hands on the box and get to see all the pictures.
Yeah.
And so we'll be calling them out as we see them. And another little tidbit, all of these will be available for purchase on our brand new website, bricksandminifigsandiegonorth.com.
Online store, baby.
Yep. We're still getting a lot of the inventory up and working out some bugs, but it is live. We're taking orders and shipping them around the country, and all sorts of fun stuff happening there. So anything we mention here, you can order as long as it's still in stock. And so we'll have that link in the show notes for everyone to go check out. But we'd love for you to go and do some shopping on our new online store and help us get all the bugs worked out. We've got a lot of the retired sets up there, a lot of the new sets. We're working on getting used sets and minifigs.
Yeah.
It's a lot to deal with all that inventory.
Well, and for those of you that have been in our store or any other Bricks and Minifigs around the country, you know that there's a lot of inventory, and the used stuff comes in and out so fast. It's quite the undertaking.
And even the retired, because there's a lot of setup for each product, and sometimes you're doing it for just like one.
And then it's gone. And then
Yep,
it's like, okay.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
But we're doing our best to get a bunch of new stuff up there. So we do have a lot of these new sets, though. So they'll be available on the website for people to go order. Sorry for that little rabbit trail.
No, you're good.
Looking at the list of new ones, is there a particular set you want to call out or a theme you want to call out to talk about?
There's a particular one that's my favorite, but I know you like it a lot too. So if I'm still,
no,
if I'm stealing it from you.
there's another one I want to talk about that I don't think you're going to talk about.
Okay, so the one I'm going to talk about is actually the new modular set. So this is set number 10350, the 2-door corner with 3,266 pieces. This set is easily one of my top 2 or 3 favorite modulars I've ever released. I think that I'd put it up there with the Natural History Museum and the Downtown Diner.
I fully agree with you.
It's amazing.
When they released it and I saw it, it just has such a great look for the modular line. For those that haven't seen it, it's typical modular, kind of the 3-story, one base plate, not over one like we had on the Natural History Museum. But so on the first level, you have
I thought this was my set, but okay.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, keep going.
You go.
No, you keep going.
I just wanted to call it out. There's a little cafe restaurant. A lot of people called it a fish and chips restaurant on the bottom floor,
And the haberdashery.
Which is, I love that they called it.
It's a great word.
Yeah, it definitely is. And then the second floor is a clockmaker, watch repairman.
Pretty
I don't
awesome.
know, but it's full of a lot of great clock
Like
builds
grandfather clocks and stuff.
cuckoo
clocks,
different things. And then the top floor is like a little apartment
with a cat tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool too because so it's a corner. So it is a corner modular. On the back, there's a separate building that's connected, but it's like a light blue building with its own architectural style. And then the pub kind of built as its own architectural style. The clockmaker's workshop is like its own like masonry brick architectural style. And then the apartment is another architectural style. So they fit 4 different architectural styles into this one set, but they all flow together really well. The pub is like a forest green color, and then you got like the tan masonry bricks, and then the white and black with like the maroon roof, and it just flows together so well. And I think the architectural style that they went for, they just like kind of nailed, and it's not something that I feel like I've seen in Lego before. And it honestly, like, it looks like a mock or like a Bricklink set,
Yeah.
but like in a really good way.
Yeah, because the detail, especially on the first floor, I think is so incredible.
Yeah,
With all the flowers and kind of vines they have growing around the pub. I got to spend some time in Edinburgh, in Scotland, when my daughter was studying abroad a few years ago, and this is like right out of, one of the Scottish villages. They just nailed that look of the pub, and like you said, the detail of the architecture is just so good. It almost looks like something they would have done in Bricklink, except the attention to detail is throughout, not just on the exterior like we sometimes get with Bricklink sets.
Yeah, and I think so. I actually was curious. I just googled the definition of the word Tudor, and it's
Tudor.
Tudor. It's called. It's pronounced Tudor.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Tiago led me astray. Whatever. But it says relating to the English royal dynasty, which held the throne from the accession of Henry VII in 1485 until the death of Elizabeth I in 1603.
There you go.
So it's like Elizabethan kind of England.
Yes. Yeah. Old
style, or before that even, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. No, this would have been like Henry VIII kind of style.
Yeah. Dude, it's beautiful. And
it is so good.
I've said it on the show before, but I don't currently have any modular sets. But this one and the Natural History Museum are definitely on my list. And then the other one we talked about last time, that's not technically a modular set, but the Botanical Garden.
Botanical Garden.
Those are the three that I'm like, those are the ones I want.
And it's interesting that they're all new ones.
I know. Well, the Downtown Diner I would have loved to have, and we've had that in the store a couple times.
Yeah,
but I couldn't afford it at the time.
Yeah,
I love that one too.
The other,
I love the 50s style.
My problem is there's so many of these that I love that are corners. I have a lot of corners because I love the corner garage.
Yeah,
is a good one.
The Boutique Hotel is a good one.
The Boutique Hotel is a good one. The cinema,
the Palace Cinema,
is really one of the only like super old ones that I went out and got. I love this one. It's by far
so
probably my favorite set from the January releases.
Oh, 100%.
There are a lot of good ones, but this one just takes the cake.
There are a few modulars that would look really good by themselves. I think some of them, it's like, oh, it's going to look better if it's integrated into a city or with other modulars. Mm-hmm. I think part of the reason why I like this one and the Natural History Museum so much is that like they can look really good on their own, and this one especially, like. It's just a really cool build. Like if you just put it on a shelf, it's gonna look great by itself.
Yeah, it is a great standalone.
Because that's something that can be tough with modulars sometimes, is that it can be really inapproachable for new people, because then you feel like, oh, I have to get not all of them, but like I have to get a few of them to really put them together.
Yeah,
and make like a city block, and you can totally do that. That's what they're intended for. But this one by itself, I think, would be awesome.
It's interesting because the architecture's. I mean, it does blend with a lot of the other modulars, but I feel like they're going in a new direction. It'll be really interesting to see what next year's modular is like.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with the Natural History Museum and this one, I don't know, they're kind of establishing a new kind of language for them. It'll just be curious to see where that goes in the future.
Yeah, and I wonder kind of where they'll go with like the architectural styles, and if they go to more of like not like a commercial building, but I know a lot of people want like a hospital,
right,
or something like that. Like I wonder if they'll kind of go back to like the Lego City style but modular, or if they'll kind of stick to stuff like this, which are really cool kind of one-offs by themselves.
Yeah, I would rather stuff like this.
I would too.
I might be in the minority.
But you and I also don't have our own Lego cities. So like if I was someone who had his own Lego city, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, I'd want a hospital in there. But these ones are so unique. They're so cool.
It'll be interesting.
And what's great is that this one and the Botanical and the Natural History, my wife loves all three of them.
Oh, well,
so we both want them in our house. Which is
a bonus.
That's the key right there.
It really is. That's great. That's a really good first set for us to talk about.
All right, now you get to talk about yours.
Yes,
here it is.
I am going to call out the Blacktron Renegade, set number 10355 with 1,151 pieces. And this is a remake of one of the original Blacktron sets.
Super cool.
Much like we got the Galaxy Explorer a few years ago. Now we've got Blacktron, so a different kind of a build. The style is very different than the Galaxy Explorer. It's got all the black, the translucent yellow pieces, and just like a lot of the old Blacktron sets, like it comes apart into its different pieces. So there's a car that comes out, and you can kind of configure it in different ways.
I think that's what's cool too. Is that like a lot of those original like older sets, like that you could. Had instructions for like these wacky zany rebuilds.
Yeah,
like almost like the precursor to a 3-in-1, and it's like they did this for like old Star Wars sets too. It's like, oh, you can rebuild your X-wing into this weird contraption, and it's like that's not even a Star Wars vehicle, but it's kind of cool. And it's cool how they did that again on this one too.
Yeah, because they have like some different builds on the back that you could choose to do. But I just think I haven't had a chance to build it yet. But they did such a great job capturing the original look and feel of those Blacktron sets. And with the return of the Blacktron minifigures and the little robot, I just think it's a great reimagining of that original theme. And
I didn't know what Blacktron was before I worked in the store, because it was kind of way before my time.
Yeah,
and that's really cool, because I know that you love it, and it's very like nostalgic for you.
And even for me, Blacktron is a little like past.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle of you and I.
Like I did the early like Galaxy Explorer, like the gray, blue, yellow kind of space vehicles.
Yeah,
this was a little later when I was too cool for Lego.
For that period of time, the Dark Ages.
Yeah, the
Lego Dark Ages.
Yeah, it didn't last long, but this was then. It's so neat to see that they did do a new interpretation of this classic theme.
Yeah,
we got a lot of castle sets in the last few years and some other things, so it's nice to see this classic space to get some attention, because I think I've said before, I was a little disappointed with their approach to space last year, as it was supposed to be the year of space.
Yeah.
And they really kind of ignored all of the classic stuff. And so what they did do was cool, but
it's not what you would have wanted them to do.
No, and I wanted to see this,
which
a return to the classic.
Yeah, which I'm glad that they did this too.
So, and I don't know that we need a whole line of these sets, but I think it's fun to have this one. And it's definitely, directed at 18 plus, but I'm sure a kid would love to play with it. It is really interesting. It has one of the new logos that shows that you can build it with multiple people. So divide it up. So if you had,
it says 1 to 2, which is cool.
Had you and your significant other wanting to spend the evening building Blacktron.
And for those of you who
do it.
might not fully know like how that works, the way they do it is it just means that they have two instruction manuals, but they're things that you can build separately and then you can attach together at the end.
Yeah.
So like that's how you can build it at the same time, or as multiple people at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of a modular build that goes together.
Yeah.
But they don't have
they don't have the classic magnets though. Like some of the aqua sharks and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't get any magnets, but I do still like what we got out of it.
It's always fun to see the old sets come into the store with the magnets on it, and it's like, whoa. Like this used to be.
What were they thinking?
And now we have like sound bricks and stuff.
So
yeah.
Do you have another one you want to call out?
Yeah, I'll mention real quick the 76444. This is the Diagon Alley Wizarding Shops. So this is a micro scale Diagon Alley. So we got like the micro scale Hogwarts Castle last year, which is a great set.
Yeah.
This one is a micro scale Diagon Alley. It also has the little night bus in there. But you'll find in micro scale form all of the shops that came in the minifigure scale Diagon Alley and Gringotts, plus like almost 10 other shops, I think, because I think there's 16 total shops in this one. So maybe not plus 10, but maybe like plus 8 or so. So you get like Madame Malkin's, and you get like the Owl Pet Store, and some of those shops that aren't in the micro scale or the minifigure scale version. You can configure it in multiple ways. You can have them all together in one line to like put up on a shelf. You can close the alley so you can look down through like the crowded street to Gringotts, or you can kind of have it out at an angle as well. Comes with a bunch of the little micro scale figures. I really like this one. I've seen a lot of positive reactions to it online. I think it's great. I think it's a much more affordable way to get all of these shops.
Mm-hmm.
They also have been doing like the smaller minifigure kind of scale like ones over the past couple years.
Mhm.
Like we got like Madame Malkins and the Weasley Wizard Wheezes one. We got like Ollivander. Oh, sorry, I was Ollivanders and Madame Malkins, and then it was Weasley's and
Yeah.
one of the other ones. And those are really cool too. So we now have kind of 3 different tiers of them. Me personally, I have the minifigure scale Diagon Alley set, and I'm planning to get the Gringotts one, and I prefer those ones. As you guys on here who know me, you know I'm a UCS fan. I like big builds, but I like the greater detail. Like I like the detail they've added into those ones, and I just like the way they look. But if you weren't able to get the Diagon Alley set before retiring, or if you couldn't afford it, or you can't afford the current Gringotts one, this set is like a quarter of the price of those 2 together, and you get more shops. So if you're okay with the microscale version of them and you just want to kind of see all the shops represented, this is a much more affordable way to get all of those shops on your shelf.
I do like that they still have shop interiors. Like they're not ignoring the interior. You're still getting, because like for me, I don't have the space to do like the giant Hogwarts build.
Sure.
So I was super happy with the micro scale. And I think with this too, like I love Diagon Alley. I love, the stories that come out of there. But this seems like it's going to be much more in line with what I can display.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Because I also have the bigger Hogwarts castle, but I still got the other one because I feel like it was different enough. It was like its own thing, like on the display stand, like on like the base with a bunch of other details and stuff. So like those ones felt like they were offering something unique enough, and I think this one does too. Yeah, and I do like how, like you mentioned, all of the shops have little micro scale interiors, which is really fun.
Because I love like that Gringotts still has the dragon on top.
Yep.
And it's still, you can see inside, and it still looks like Gringotts and all the fun other little builds. And it is a little bigger than you think it would be. Like when you see it in relation to a person, I think Gringotts being the tallest building still looks like it's like 5 inches or so tall.
Yeah, I think the whole set, I'm trying to find the measurements here. Because, it's not a small set. When you put all of them together. Okay, by the way, it has 12 micro figures, for those of you who might have been wondering. And dimensions-wise, we're looking at, it's 5.5 inches tall.
Okay, so I had a pretty good guess.
34.5 inches wide, so almost 3 feet long.
Which is crazy, because and
3 inches deep.
It doesn't look like it would be that long, but I guess if you put all of them, side by side like that, it is, like I said, it's taller than you think, and I guess it's longer as well.
So when we're talking about 34.5 inches, that's almost as long as the Hogwarts Express was.
Yeah.
Like end to
big.
end.
So
find a really long shelf and just put it on there.
The nice thing is you could break it up.
You can.
You could you wouldn't have to have it all together. So or get a few like stacked shelves so you could have it, maybe tiered.
It is interesting too. Sorry, last thing real quick. Lego Harry Potter is kind of what really got me back into Lego in a big way. And I haven't really gotten a Lego Harry Potter set in a while. Actually, I did get the microscale castle. I did get that one. But Harry Potter, I feel like consistently year after year has really good sets that Harry Potter fans are really pleased with. I'm kind of like a big phase guy, so I haven't been in a huge Harry Potter phase in a while. But I need to go back and get some of their sets because they make good stuff.
See, I just finished listening to all the books, and so I'm kind of on a Harry Potter kick right now.
Yeah.
And I did pick up a few of the last wave of Harry Potter sets. I got the Durmstrang ship.
I want that one.
And I got the Owlery, maybe.
The Owlery was a fun one.
Anyhow,
we were at Universal Studios, and we got to go in the Harry Potter world for the first time, because the last time I went to Universal was before they opened the Harry Potter world, and it was really cool because they opened that ride first in Orlando, and they did it when they were filming the 5th movie. So like they have the characters on the ride like that look like the age they were in during the 5th movie, and so they have like the actors for Dumbledore and Hagrid and other characters that have passed away.
Yeah,
and it's like it was really cool to like see them like the actors were part of the ride, and it was really really cool.
I thought they did. I love the immersive. I mean, this isn't a Harry Potter podcast, but they did such a great job with the immersive aspect
of like the ride queue
of just everything at Harry Potter.
They did a really good job.
I haven't been to the LA one, but in Florida, it was just amazing.
It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it a lot.
My favorite part was Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
And so I know that's not at the LA park.
Robbie Coltrane. Obviously.
But
no, they don't have Diagon Alley, but they have Hogsmeade and the castle.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And they had like a projector show on the castle at night, and it was Christmas themed.
Oh, that's
we were
fun.
there like 2 days before Christmas. It was great.
All right. Well, moving on from Harry Potter, my next pick is not Harry Potter. I am a bit of a history nut. I love history and reading about history and listening to books about history. And so one of the sets that I really enjoyed in this wave is the Leonardo da Vinci flying machine. And it is set number 10363. It's got 493 pieces. It comes with one minifigure of Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, okay.
And it is a model of his classic flying machine. I don't know if you've seen the drawings and stuff that represent kind of what he imagined human-powered flight would be. And it's kind of this like awkward bird-looking thing with flapping wings where somebody sat in front and was able to control it. And I just think it's a really fun display piece. It kind of reminds me of a few of the Harry Potter builds we've had in the past, of Fawkes and Hedwig. Like it has that kind of look of the black base and then the flying machine with the flapping wings on it. But I really like it. I think it's cool. I think it's something different that we haven't really seen before out of Lego. So I like when they try new things, and the Icons line is really delivering. I feel like 3 of the 4 sets we've talked about now have been from the Icons line.
Yeah. I'm going to switch up a little bit real quick because I know you've all been waiting for this. This is a segment of the show where everyone talks about Animal Crossing, which, of course, you all want to hear. It'll be brief, though. There were 3 new Animal Crossing sets released, which makes my heart very happy because I hope this theme continues because I want all the minifigures. I want all the Animal Crossing minifigures that they'll give me. 3 sets released. There is Stargazing with Celeste, which is set number 77053. There is Leaf's Caravan and Garden Shop, which is set 77054. And then there's the Able Sisters Clothing Shop, set 77055.
And a polybag. Julian's
polybag. Yeah, Julian's painting, which... Why do they already do duplicate villager?
That's my one complaint.
There are over 400 villagers in the game. Do literally anyone that we haven't gotten yet. Anyways, in each of these new sets, each set has a new NPC. So in Stargazing with Celeste, you guessed it, you get Celeste, who's one of Bailey's favorites. Super cute. And then in Leaf's Caravan, you get Leaf, also one of Bailey's favorites. And you get the squirrel villager Poppy, who's super cute. And then the Able Sisters, you get Mabel. And the bunny villager Sasha, which isn't my favorite villager. However, now we have both of the minifigure versions of the characters that are featured on the album cover for KK Bubblegum. So I'm okay with it. Anyways, but yeah, so you get Leaf's Caravan and a little Leaf Shop. You get Stargazing with Celeste with one of my favorite DIYs, which is the Moon Chair. Super fun. And then the Able Sisters, which, I mean, you kind of need the Able Sisters to go along with the buildings like resident services and the airport. Hopefully the museum is next.
Yes.
And we can get our boy Blathers in there.
That's what I'm holding out for. I have to say, of these that came out, my favorite is Leaf's Caravan.
Oh, yeah?
I love his little caravan, one. It's kind of an awkward shape. Like, it feels a little too tall, but, it works. I love his little...
It's cute.
His little plant shop out in front. And, I think... of all of them, that's my favorite. Although Stargazing with Celeste is
pretty
a
great.
lot of fun.
It's pretty great.
And a small, like it's a $10 set.
I know, it's super
Like
cheap.
it's great.
Yeah, and my last couple thoughts here. This wave is kind of the first time where I've had a little bit of gripes with the minifigures, and in one way that I don't think is really Lego's fault, and one way that I think kind of is. So first with Celeste, her translation to minifigure form I think is the most off out of all of them so far, and I think that just has to do with her body shape in the game. Like her head and her body kind of blend into each other because like the owls.
Yeah, she's more round, and it's hard.
Yeah, so
it's a hard shape to translate.
I don't think they could have done that any better. So that's not any fault of them. The head mold looks great though. And then there's Mabel, who she's a hedgehog. She's a blue hedgehog, kind of like Sonic. It's a brand new head mold, which it needed to be, but her hair is not long enough. Like they chopped it off. She looks like she got a haircut. And they literally have a picture of what she's supposed to look like on the box. And you can just tell how they just made it way too short. And it's interesting because you look at all the Sonic figures and theirs are much, much longer. So I'm not 100% sure why they made this one so small. The rest of her looks great. Sasha looks great. Poppy looks great. Leaf looks fantastic. Like they've done a really good job translating these characters to minifigure form overall. But just a couple observations, but overall, I'm super happy. Like I said, I will be getting every single Animal Crossing set they ever make. Even if someday I get rid of the builds, I just want the figures.
I mean, these figures are. I mean, that's why you buy these sets. I feel like because the builds are fun, but they're simple. Like they're not.
Yeah, but I think it's perfect because like Animal Crossing is so appealing to all ages that like they kind of the builds needed to appeal to all ages as well because they're all 6 or 7 plus. But I like all of them. Like, I enjoy doing the builds for all of them.
Yeah, no, they're fun. And someday I hope to put them all together and make a little island.
Space.
That's
the everlasting issue for a Lego fan.
Yep. Someday we'll have to do an episode about making more space.
I know. So, anyways, I hope that 2025 sees at least one more Animal Crossing wave. I hope it just keeps going because I still have a few NPCs and villagers that I want, and we're still crossing our fingers for Animal Crossing CMF series. But
I think that's going to be, a little further away. But I do also, kind of keeping with more theme, I want to call out they did release a bunch of new Star Wars sets.
Yeah.
This January, although not as many as some Januaries.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's more than the past couple of years, but less than they used to.
Yeah. And so we're not going to go into super detail, but we got Grogu with the hover pram.
The pram build is awesome.
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, imagine a smaller Grogu from the Child a few years ago in his pram, and that's kind of what it is. It's exactly what it's called out to be. Then we got a few of the
Starship
Collection. Yeah. We've got Home 1, which looks great. We've got the Acclimator, which also looks good, although I know a lot of people would rather just have a Venator.
Yeah, interesting choice.
But, it's a good build.
It looks great.
I think they continue to do really amazing builds with these.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's something that isn't going to take up tons of space. Like for people that can't do the UCS Venator, they can get an Acclimator that'll look really nice on their shelf.
Well, and I think too, it's like these are a lot of these ships that they've chosen, like the Home 1 and the Acclimator, like they're never going to make a UCS Home 1 or a UCS Acclimator. So getting it, and a play scale one would also not fully do it justice in terms of the shape.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a really good choice for a lot of those ships because they can translate them into this scale and not have to worry about making a giant ship for them.
Yeah. We've also got a 4+ Mando and Grogu's in one Starfighter. It's exactly what you would think of 4+ in one Starfighter.
Think of a 4+ Star Wars Mandalorian Starfighter. That's what it is.
Yep, it exactly. And then we got a couple new minifigure sets. We've got Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor, which, is very similar to the other Jedi Interceptors we've had in the past, which are the kind of, if an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter kind of had a baby look,
sure.
It's got the wings that kind of open up, although this has a new canopy cockpit
Yep.
that is different than the old ones, but you get Anakin and Ahsoka and an R2
R7A7
R7 droid
with the colors of Ahsoka, like
Yeah.
the green and the red. And I think this is season 3 version of Ahsoka, something like
Sure.
that. I think this is great because there has been some controversy around the set, but I'm going to focus on the positives. The main controversy is just the price. I'll just let you all know. But the build itself is great, and there were some complaints with Yoda Starfighter last year that it was just Yoda and an astromech droid, and I like to see Anakin included in the set.
Mhm.
I'm really glad that they took in some of that feedback, seemingly, and they added another figure. Worth mentioning, this set is based off of the Clone Wars. They're not the large-eyed figures. Which there's been other Clone Wars based sets over the past couple of years, I guess, that they didn't do the large eyes of. I think they only did that when the show itself was still airing. But it is kind of interesting to get a Clone Wars version of Anakin with front leg printing, by the way. Looks really good.
Yeah.
But to not have it with the large eyes, it's interesting. And this is the first, I think, Padawan Ahsoka figure we've gotten, too, that doesn't have the large eyes.
Yeah, it's nice that they're revisiting some of these classic characters.
Yeah.
And then the last one is the ARC 170, probably the most anticipated of this wave.
And the biggest letdown.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller than the early ARC 170s. I think the minifigures are still pretty great.
The figures are great. Great.
But yeah, a lot of people weren't as happy with the build, although I think they did a better job of, it doesn't have as many weird openings, like it's a much more polished build than the earlier ones, but yeah, it's
small and it's out of proportion.
But that's happening with a lot of recent.
Doesn't make it okay.
No, but that's kind of the trend that we're seeing.
It's like, okay, for those of you that saw the 2013 gunship, right, the great Playscale gunship,
oh yeah,
and then you look at the Coruscant Guard gunship from last year, and how the proportions were just way off. It's kind of like that. Like it's smaller and the proportions are off. It looks clean. And, like, the build itself, if you just look at it out of context, it's like, oh, like, that looks pretty clean. But it also is, like, it's this weird in-between scale where, like, it almost... I haven't seen it in person yet. But in the picture I'm looking at right now, like, it almost looks like a 4+ set sometimes when I look at it, because it just looks way too small.
Yeah, it looks... The nose looks too short.
Way
the
too
wings
short.
aren't long enough. They look more like X-Wing.
The cannons are super short.
Yeah. But
and the engines are way too small.
They didn't want to make it a $99 ARC 170.
But people would have bought it.
So we got the $70 version. They would have, but for whatever reason, this is the direction they went.
And that's the thing, is that, like, yeah, if they would have just gone big and made it the right scale and the right everything, like, they would have sold more of them because it's a better ship. So I'm still holding out hope that they make a UCS ARC 170, because that's what I really want as a fan of this ship. So
maybe
anyways.
we'll wait and see.
Anyways,
those were kind of the highlights of the 2025 releases. Did I miss any?
I don't think so.
We got some new botanicals that were fun.
The pretty pink flower bouquet.
The pretty pink flower bouquet.
That will probably be what I'm buying for Bailey for Valentine's Day. Because every time they come out with a new flower bouquet, she wants it.
The lucky bamboo is kind of a fun one.
Yeah, the cherry blossom one is good too.
Yeah. So the mini orchid.
The orchid, thank you.
And then we got a dandelion polybag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fans of the botanicals got something. We're not going to dive into all of them, but there are some really great city sets that came out this wave.
Some more good 3-in-1s too.
Some more good 3-in-1s.
The Panda's the best one.
On the city, they started. We're getting the first wave of F1 sets.
Nice.
But these are our city-built F1s. So we've got a McLaren car. We've got a Ferrari semi-truck. So some fun ones that way. And yeah, and you mentioned the 3-in-1s, which, again, they continue to knock the ball out of the park with those.
They've been doing good. The Panda build is great, but I love the rebuild into the Orca whales. Awesome.
They also have a typewriter 3-in-1 with flowers.
I think a Keytar is one of the builds.
Yeah,
for that one.
it's wacky, but you know, like I said, they're trying some new things, and I think that's fun.
Yeah. Real quick too, another Harry Potter one. They did finally do Malfoy Manor, which is great to see more Deathly Hallows sets. Lego has kind of over remade a lot of the 1 through 3 sets because that's the more kid friendly movies. So I get it, but it's really cool to see some of the later books / movies represented. So the Malfoy Manor set looks great,
and there's some really fun Easter eggs in that one.
Yeah, and then also like they do every other year, they have the Lunar New Year sets, and there's some good ones this year as always. So
Yeah, so I think that is kind of what came out on January 1st. We've got a lot of them in the store. We'll be getting a lot of them over time. There was some fulfillment issues, so we weren't able to get everything on January 1, but they're starting to trickle in.
Sorry, and Series 27 CMS.
I was just about to mention the one thing we forgot, which I think we may want to just devote a whole segment in a future episode going through those figures. I mean, we've talked about it in the past, but there are a few real standouts.
There's some good ones.
So, yeah, and we've got those too. One other thing before we leave this thoughts of the new year, do you have any hopes or predictions or maybe even resolutions for Lego going into 2025?
I've mentioned it. I hope there's another Animal Crossing wave.
Mm-hmm.
I think not only do I want them, but I hope that that's indicative of this theme being successful, and I hope it continues. I would love to see a couple new themes. I've told you this since last year, but I think a Lego Bluey theme would be really fun. Just please, if you do it, do minifigures.
Yeah,
don't do mini dolls.
One of my hopes for Lego in 2025 is just that we are going to get more minifigure and less mini dolls,
especially in the Disney sets.
Yeah, and rumor is March 1 we will get a Lilo and Stitch house with minifigures instead of mini dolls. So hopefully that's Lego just giving us minifigure fans a little Disney love too.
Because you and I have talked about it. We believe that fans of mini dolls also like minifigures, but fans of minifigures don't like mini dolls.
Yeah.
So satisfy the most amount of people.
Yeah,
make a better product.
I think the Wicked sets,
prime example,
would have done awesome with minifigures.
Like that movie is huge.
Yeah,
and you have had a hard time selling those sets because people don't care about mini dolls.
No, and I think going back, Inside Out 2, if they would have done minifigure sets instead of the mini doll sets, would have done.
They only made that one. And
no,
I will be honest. I do think that's like my only example where I actually think anxiety and joy translate better to mini dolls. Would I like to have minifigures? 100%. Like, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have, but honestly, like those specific characters actually I think translated better.
But I think anyway. So I would like to see more minifigures and less mini dolls in 2025.
Yeah, Lego remakes sets here and there, like we talked about the Blacktron one. I hope a lot of those remakes that they do, like the Tumbler that just retired at the end of this past year, they usually make them better, which I like because a lot of those older sets that are really popular, there's so much on the secondary market.
Except in Star Wars.
Yeah, except in Star Wars. I know. But a lot of those other ones, like the Tumbler, like the old Tumbler, was so much on the secondary market. Like the Batman and Joker figures themselves were like $100. And so, but then they remade another one, and it was, in my opinion, an updated, better build, but it's a regular retail price. So if they keep doing that, I hope that they keep making them like better versions and not like lesser versions, you know?
Yeah, because we do have some rumors about remakes of older sets from some themes that we haven't seen in a while. And it would be nice if they went the let's make them better and not smaller and cheaper.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's a good one. Lego, if you're listening, that's what we would like to see from Lego in 2025.
Heed our words.
So hopefully everyone's year is off to a great start, and we will be watching for these things throughout the year and see if Lego can deliver on our hopes and dreams for 2025.
Yeah, should be a good year. 2024 was a good one, so hopefully this one's even better.
And we're off to a good start.
We are.
With what we saw in January.
Yeah.
So I do want to touch on a little bit of what's new in the store lately. You've been traveling and you've been doing the day job.
My day job? You mean just my job?
Your job.
Yeah.
Other than hanging out with me talking Lego.
Moonlighting as a Lego podcaster.
But we have an explosion of UCS sets in the store right now. So talk about big builds that everyone seems to love. And the interesting thing is we have them across new in box, certified, and used ones. All sorts. We've got the Star Destroyer, we've got the AT-AT, We've got Mos Eisley,
Don't say
the AT-AT.
good.
Sorry. I would say it in French, but I don't remember what the
TBT.
yeah, as it says on the box. But we've got the Y-Wing. We've got, can we count the Tantive as a UCS? No.
Should have,
But
no.
it's there too. We've also got Mos Eisley used. We've got the TIE Interceptor used right now. Snow Speeder. We've got
Love that
so
Snow
many
Speeder.
great. Oh, we've got the Y-Wing
You said that.
used as well. We've got it new in box and we've
used.
got it
Yeah.
used. And then certified, we have the original TIE Interceptor
Oh,
and X-Wing UCS. Like,
Yep.
it just, all of a sudden, they've exploded. They're everywhere. Oh, we've got a used gunship.
yeah.
Yeah, just if you are looking for some UCS sets,
Especially some retired ones.
yeah, we've got you covered. And even the recent retired Mos Eisley and
Gunship.
gunship, the AT-AT, you know, if you want to grab them before they start totally skyrocketing in price, now may be a good time if you miss them. And we've also had a big influx of inventory of Marvel and DC minifigs lately.
Ooh, I might have to come check out
So
those DC
if
figs.
you are into that, something to swing by and check out. So
Ooh, speaking of DC, hopefully it's going to be a good year for DC. That Superman trailer, dude.
I
Gave me,
I hope so. I think
That's-
this is DC's year.
that Superman trailer gave me exactly what the symbol on his chest means.
I
Hope.
I can't wait
So
to
much
see
hope.
that movie.
I love James Gunn and Creature Commandos. I don't know if you've been watching it. It's been awesome.
I haven't started
It
it yet.
ends tomorrow, but super good. And James Gunn is great. All the interviews I've seen of him, anyways. Chris and I are DC fans. I'm a Batman fan. He's a Superman fan.
Yeah, Superman was
Please.
my favorite superhero growing up, and it's been a long time since I feel like we've had some good Superman sets.
It's been a long time since we've had good sets outside of Batman and DC.
No, I mean Batman. I think you've
I'm okay
gotten,
with because
yeah,
I love Batman.
yeah,
but
and
for
Batman's
the
great.
Greater people, I would like for there.
but
to be more.
I would like a little more DC variety. So again, more predictions for 2025. Lego, give us some Superman.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll make any sets for that movie.
I don't know. We may have to wait till 2026, but
I would-
hopefully it'll do well enough that they do.
See, I wasn't into Lego last time the DC movies were, which they weren't that great. But like when like the Dark Knight movies were releasing and all of that, I'm excited. Like I hope that over time I can get minifigure versions of all these new characters.
Yeah,
that
and they
they're about
didn't
to
do
make.
a lot based on those movies. We got some
Yeah.
tumblers. We got, but
Not that was one,
not a lot of like play sets.
There's a
And
few of the
I'm
Snyder
not
ones.
necessarily looking for play sets for Superman either. And he doesn't have like the vehicles, although
they need to make a Daily Planet,
a Daily Planet
like a
would be
big
great.
Daily Planet.
Yeah,
like
like-
they did for the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, or the Fortress of Solitude
That'd be sick.
would be an amazing build. I wonder how that's going to translate in the new movie.
The shots of it in the trailer look pretty sick.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But we'll talk about that as we get closer.
Oh, when it
I'm
comes out
sure.
in July, you'll hear all about it.
Yeah. But I think that brings us to the close of this episode of the Brick Clubhouse.
/ DC update.
Slash.
What did you do over the holidays?
Yeah, / whatever we want. As typical of our podcast. Oh, since people have stayed this long, and we should have put this up in follow-up, we made it onto a list of top Lego podcasts. FeedSpot they do a whole bunch of different topics,
Mhm.
and one of them is Lego, and they do a list of the top 60 Lego
Okay.
podcasts, and we debuted on that list at spot 19.
Let's go.
So we're in the top 20.
Thank you all for your listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and it's because of you guys that we made that list. So
Should our 2025 goal to be number 9 by the end of the year?
that would be awesome.
Back into the top 10.
And to make that happen, we'd love to get reviews, thumbs up, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Give us that 5 stars or whatever it is they do on Spotify and Apple and YouTube. We'd love for your subscriptions and your reviews to
Yeah.
help get the show noticed and let more people hear our thoughts on Legos. So if you'd like to share your thoughts and ideas with us, you can do that at brickclubhouse.com and also follow us on Instagram at brickclubhouse. Let us know what your favorite sets of 2025 January wave were and maybe what your hopes and dreams for Lego are this year. With that, we're going to bring the show to a close. Say goodbye, Evan.
Goodbye, Chris. Also, more Lord of the Rings sets. That's another hope. Sorry, I forgot that one.
I hope you're right.
Anyways, goodbye, Chris.
Bye, Evan.